Title: The Bird Who Wanted to Swim. In a quiet forest where sunlight filtered through tall green trees and the air smelled of rain and pine, there lived a small golden bird named Lila. Her feathers shimmered like the early dawn, and when she sang, the whole forest seemed to pause and listen. Every morning, Lila would perch on her favorite branch near the river and watch the world awaken. Rabbits would stretch and hop through the grass, squirrels would chase each other up the tree trunks, and fish would leap out of the water, flashing silver in the sunlight. Lila loved the forest dearly, but her heart longed for something she did not have. While other birds sang happily or soared in the open skies, Lila often found herself staring down at the river below, mesmerized by the dance of the fish. She would watch them glide and twist, the water folding around their bodies like silk.
They look so free. I wish I could swim like them.
Swim? But Lila, you already have the sky? Why would you trade wings for fins?
The sky feels lonely sometimes. The river, it looks alive. The fish are never alone. They glide together. They move together like a family. I want to be part of that.
We birds belong to the wind, not the water. Be careful what you wish for.
But Lila couldn't let go of her dream. Every day she watched the fish, memorizing how they moved. She practiced dipping her claws into the water, flapping her wings close to the surface, and even holding her breath for a few seconds when she dared to dive. The first time she tried to swim, she simply plunged in with a cheerful chirp, and instantly panicked. The water swallowed her in cold waves, dragging her down. Her wings, light and built for air, grew heavy. She flailed, sputtered, and barely managed to flap back to shore. Soaked and shivering, she collapsed on a rock. The fish beneath the surface peeked up at her curiously, their scales glimmering like laughter.
Are you all right, bird?
I just wanted to swim like you.
But you can fly. We dream of that every day. To see the world above the water. Why would you want to give that up?
Because what I have doesn't feel special anymore.
Maybe you don't see it, but we do.
He flicked his tail and disappeared back into the depths. That night, as rain pattered softly on the leaves, Lila sat under her branch, thinking. She could still feel the river's pull in her feathers, that strange mixture of fear and beauty. She wasn't ready to give up. Over the next few days, she practiced again and again. She tried skimming lower and lower over the water, dipping her belly just enough to feel the cool splash. She even made friends with the little fish who had spoken to her. His name was Finn.
Flap slower this time. Try to float.
Birds don't float.
Then learn to.
Bit by bit, Lila found a rhythm, hovering just above the river, letting the tips of her feathers trace ripples on the surface. For a moment she almost felt like part of the river itself, but her dream grew bolder. One morning, when mist covered the forest and the world was still asleep, Lila whispered to herself, "Today, I'll swim. Truly swim." She flew high, took a deep breath, and dove straight into the river. For a heartbeat, it felt magical. The cold water wrapped around her like a blanket of glass. Light sparkled everywhere. She spread her wings and kicked, trying to mimic the fish. But quickly, the dream turned into panic. The current was stronger than she imagined. It dragged her downward, spinning her through weeds and rocks. Her lungs burned. She tried to flap, but her wings wouldn't rise. Then, through the blur of bubbles, she saw Finn swimming toward her, his tiny fins flashing frantically. "Lila, don't fight the river. Move with it." He guided her to a shallow pool near the bank. She gasped for air, collapsing on a rock, exhausted.
You could have drowned.
I just wanted to belong, but I guess I don't belong anywhere.
That's not true. You belong to the sky, and it needs you.
Before Lila could answer, a loud crash echoed through the forest. The river's current suddenly quickened, roaring louder and louder. Trees trembled.
The dam upstream, it's breaking.
Water surged from around the bend, carrying broken branches and mud. The peaceful river turned into a furious flood. "Finn!" Lila cried. "Swim to safety!" But Finn was caught in the current, swept toward the rocks. "Finn, where are you?" Lila dove, ignoring the spray and chaos. With every flap she felt her feathers tearing, her body trembling, but she caught sight of him, spinning helplessly. She thrust her claws into the water and grabbed him. The current tried to pull them both down, but with a desperate cry, she pushed upward, wings beating harder than ever. At last, she broke free, water flying in every direction, and landed on a branch high above the flood. Gasping, she placed Finn on a leaf beside her. He was shaking, but alive. You saved me."
Guess all that practice finally paid off.
Below them, the flood raged on, sweeping through the forest floor. But from their perch, they watched the sun slowly rise, golden light spreading across the water's surface like hope returning.
You're not just a bird. You're braver than the river itself.
Lila felt warmth spread through her chest. For the first time, she didn't envy the fish. She didn't wish for fins or to swim. She was simply grateful for her wings, for her heart, and for the sky waiting above. When the flood finally calmed, the forest returned to its gentle rhythm. The water carried away the broken pieces of the dam, and flowers began to bloom again near the banks. Lila and Finn became inseparable. Every morning she would fly above the river while Finn swam below, calling out to each other. Sometimes Finn would leap from the water trying to catch her reflection, and Lila would dive low, teasing him playfully. Theo, watching from his favorite branch, chuckled. "So, little one, do you still want to swim?"
Oh, Theo, I think I finally understand.
Understand what?
That the sky and the river aren't so different. They both move with freedom, but they each have their own kind of beauty. And we do too.
Theo nodded approvingly. Ah, wisdom at last. Every creature finds peace when it stops wishing to be something else. Days turned into weeks, weeks into seasons. The flood became just another story whispered among the forest creatures of the brave little bird who defied the river to save her friend. And though many birds came and went, none could match Lila's song. It carried something deep, a sound of courage, of love, of discovery. When she sang, even the river seemed to listen. One quiet evening, as golden light fell over the water, Lila perched beside Finn once more.
You know, I used to think I wanted to swim because I was missing something. But now I see I was meant to fly so I could help others when they couldn't.
And I was meant to swim so I could remind you that your wings were never a mistake.
They both laughed softly, the kind of laughter that belongs to old friends who have shared danger and dreams. As the stars began to appear, Lila spread her wings. "I'll see you in the morning, Finn." "I'll be right here," he said, diving gracefully into the moonlit water. She rose into the air, soaring higher and higher until the forest below became a blur of silver and green. The wind rushed past her face, and she felt weightless, not because she was escaping something, but because she had finally accepted who she was. Far below, the river sparkled, winding like a ribbon through the trees. For a moment it looked as if the river and the sky met at the horizon, one flowing into the other endlessly, and Lila thought, maybe that's how life works. We all have our own paths, our own ways to move. But in the end, we all reflect the same light. Soft piano music begins, gentle and emotional. Years later, travelers passing through the forest would sometimes see a golden bird gliding over the river, singing the sweetest song they'd ever heard. Some said her wings shone brighter than the sun, others swore her song could calm even the wildest storms, and when the river shimmered in the moonlight, the fish would leap joyfully as if greeting an old friend, the bird who once wanted to swim, but instead learned to fly for all the right reasons. Music swells, then fades softly. Because sometimes the greatest peace comes not from changing who we are but from learning to love what we were always meant to be.